Everybody, this is Jorge, and I am here with the amazing cast and director from the new movie called Meet Cute in Manhattan. Um, I'm just gonna go off and start saying it. This was definitely one of my favorite rom-coms that I've seen in God knows how long, and this is one that I think is really gonna make such a huge difference in this market. It was just so well done. Like as soon as I finished seeing it, I already knew that this is going to be something that's going to be like in my Rolodex of rom-coms. So, first and foremost, just like hats off to you guys.
Yeah.
Great, stuff. Had just a few quick questions for you guys. Just kind of wanted to get your guys' thoughts. And I'll kind of go in order as you guys are lined up here to make life super easy. So first and foremost, Karen, had a quick question for you. So this movie uses such a unique narrative. Kind of telling the story, and it's almost like a story within a story, with Jason's character trying to, it's almost like that Inception weirdness. Just kind of wanted to get from your take, like how did you go about that process and how did that actually come to be? Because while watching the movie and you're seeing it, it's such a unique take on something that, at least me personally, I've never seen done before in this type of genre.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite scripts of all time is The Social Network. I love how they use the framing device to tell that story. And Terrence and I spent about 6 months writing together. And through the course of that process, it was actually like 2 months before we started filming. I had this like total realization that the film is really about him and his journey as an Asian actor, like not getting the roles he wanted. And Terrence is an incredible pitcher, like the film would not be here without him. It's incredible. So I really wanted to like play into his strengths there and like use I love meta stuff. I'm Gen Z. I feel like there's like another layer of like postmodernism with Gen Z. So yeah, I also have never seen a meta rom-com in
Yeah.
this way. But the main inspiration for the script is 500 Days of Summer, like from a distinct perspective and uh, using the meta tropes, like the expectations versus reality scene I love in 500 Days. So yeah, that yeah, it really feel like when I was like, we should have this framing device with the pitch meeting. I was like, I feel like I know what the movie is now, especially when Terrence wrote one of my favorite scenes in the film, the first scene when the producer is asking him about uh, like it being an Asian-led rom-com. I
Yes.
such a great job with that scene.
No, that's awesome. And I will say, yeah, the one of the things that I loved in the opening of this movie was seeing all the times that you kind of see both the main characters, Nora and Jason kind of like crossing paths. It was so like serendipitous to me. Like I loved it. So the way that that was done was amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
that was about while we started filming because I was like, we have to show off New York. So I
It's so New
yes.
also,
York. You're always passing somebody that you don't know who you're
yeah.
passing.
Yeah. That's amazing. No, so I guess my next one, Terrence, it'll go straight to you. So, from your point of view, you said you always wanted to have an Asian kind of rom-com lead, and I think it's so neat that you've worked on this movie for so long, and then to now actually be that person that will get to inspire so many others, and to let people know, like, oh, like I look like him, like I can be that person. um, how did you undertake that? And then how do you feel kind of having that in a weird way, like responsibility type of thing, like being that first figure, like that person who breaks through that wall, basically?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is if you want to work in film, I always say you have to be a little stupid. You have to do the perfect amount of stupid. You have to believe enough in your dreams, but also be realistic enough to know how to achieve them, right? And same thing. I think this film is one, a labor of love, but everyone that worked on it, I convinced them one by one, like, hey, this is something that's worth doing, right? And as sort of a steward of, I guess, Asian men in rom-coms, I think I don't know if that's a mantle that I want to take up. It's a little bit daunting, but you know, I think we want the story to be universal, right? You don't have to
Yeah.
be to identify with this, but the fact that he is Asian, I agree. Like when I was growing up, I didn't exist. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
in movies and film, unless we were a joke or some sort of punchline, you know? And obviously, I think the industry has progressed a lot more, but we still haven't seen that kind of romantic lead explosion, right? And I think we're getting there. And the biggest thing too, it's like, I think in the film, I don't want to play a guy who's good at math or who can do kung fu or
yeah,
it's like, no, like he can just be a guy and he happens to be Asian,
yeah,
And I think there's so many New Yorkers that like every New Yorker has a dream, right? No one comes to the city like, well, New York seems fun. Like, everyone's here to try to do something great. And
yeah.
that's what every character in this film is. So yeah, I hope that resonates with people and thank you for feeling that way.
Yeah, no, no, no. It's something that that I caught on, and it's growing up, I kind of feel the same way. Like when I looked at film, it's like the Spanish person was always like the drug cartel guy or the bad guy. Like I completely understand that, and I love that you're able to do that. And then Kendall, for you, one of the things that I had, the chemistry that you had with Terrence's character in the film, just kind of it felt so real. Like there were certain shots and the way that you guys acted together, and especially seeing your character going through that turmoil between, your current, like situation versus, yeah, versus, like what could be. But I guess for you, it's like, how did you get into that ability to be able to, because there's certain scenes where like just looking at the way it was shot, just looking at your eyes, like you can see so much love behind them. And like just looking at some of the layers that you were giving and all this, it was one of those, things where you were acting without doing anything. Like there was no words, there was nothing, but you can feel everything you were doing. So kind of wanted to get, how do you get into those states where you can show that authenticity without, obviously, to my knowledge, you guys aren't, you know, in a loving relationship, but you guys sold it so well.
It's a hating relationship.
We're gonna
Yeah.
debunk rumors.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, how did you get into that mode? Because I find that to be that was so impressive.
oh, well, thank you so much for saying that. It means a lot to me. So while I do love Terrence very much,
In a purely platonic
in a
way.
purely
Yeah.
platonic way, I try to find a relatability to Nora in every moment, as much as I can, whether it's pulling from my personal life or a past relationship, whatever that may be. So I found that fairly easy just because everyone can relate to Nora. She has an image of what she wants her life to be. She's checking all the boxes, but then she's realizing that what she wants on paper might not be what she wants in real life. And I think just sitting in that moment and just thinking about that, thinking about your life and having a little bit of an existential crisis, it's gonna get you there. um, yeah. So I just think back to my personal life.
I
And
love it. No,
just a note, like Kendall is such a tremendous actress. Like every time
yeah.
she's on the set, everyone just sits up a little bit straighter because like, all right, the pros here, you know what I mean? Like we all got to get up to her level.
We're gonna
It's
pay him.
I love it. And then just final question for all of you guys. If you can, because I know New York plays such a vital scene to this movie, almost like its own character. If you guys can just give me one word to describe New York to you guys, what would it be?
one word to describe New York, wondrous. It's
Okay.
really a wondrous city. Yeah. I mean, there's no city in the world like it, and that's why I call it home.
I think the energy, like, or a positive, like, it's like the best city ever. I went to college here. Love it. Like,
Gosh, one word is really difficult, but one word to describe New York City, I would say chaotic.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, no, that's I will say, not to I will throw out the credit where it's due, but just want to let you guys know this movie is fantastic. I know sometimes when people produce stuff and do stuff, you always want to know if it touches people or if it does something. I know it means a lot to you guys, but at least from someone who's seen it, just know that this movie was spectacular, and I am
So much.
truly, truly honored to just be able to have seen it early, to be able to talk to you guys. Like, I wish you guys nothing but success. And to all the viewers watching, this, please make sure go see this. Comes out in March. Meet Cute in Manhattan. Phenomenal film. You will not be disappointed. That's for sure. But thank you guys so much for your time, and we'll
Thank you,
definitely be
Jorge.
talking later.
Thank you.
Perfect. All right. Bye bye.